Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. Welcome to my channel. My name is Emma and I'm a speech and language therapy master's student currently living in London and studying at City University in London. Today I'm just going to go through what I wish I knew before I started. I'm doing this because I feel like I would have really liked to have known kind of like what I was in for, and also like other like random tips and bits and bobs that maybe you don't even think about, or I wouldn't have thought about at the beginning or before starting the course. So I'm gonna go through it now. So I've got my little notepad in here somewhere. I've got a little post-it. Oh, there it is. Number one is it is very intense. I did know this before I started because everyone that on open days and everything said it was quite an intense course. Undergraduate as well I think it's quite a lot generally. The Masters is the BSc condensed into 2 years. So although it's like you cover the same content and everything, it's just all squished into 2 years. So you basically got a lot more to do all of the time. So yes, it's more intense. I knew that. But one thing I do wish I knew, or even like thought about, was about how organised I was going to have to be. So for example, knowing that I've got to prepare for lectures before I go in, making sure that I have a certain slotted amount of time during my days around other lectures and other commitments and placement and all those other things, like just making sure that I was always on top of it so that you don't get behind. So I wish I knew that like right from the beginning, because I was trying to work it all out and it's all a bit stressful. But basically, all you need to do is plan and be organised, and it is achievable, as we know, because I'm still here and so are the majority of my course, and so are other courses around the country. They're still going, so you can do it, but it is an intense course and sometimes you have to miss out on other things. But if you're organised on top of it, you don't have to. I still manage to go out, see my friends, make nice dinners and go to the gym and still sleep well. Not that I do that, I'm not saying I do, I'm just saying I could if I prioritise my time well. When I do, I am capable of doing that. So number one is, the course is intense. You know, don't think it's not going to be and then be a bit shocked. Because I think quite a lot of people on our course at the moment say like, oh, this is so hard and blah blah blah, which obviously it is, but if you know, you're coming in with the expectation that it's going to be like that. So yeah. Okay, the second one is about placements, and I guess it's the same applies to jobs, and well, I assume it applies to jobs, I don't actually know, but that the first day of placement isn't really that scary. So I remember going into my first, actually to be fair, I always get nervous before going to a placement, because you know, you're meeting new people, you're meeting a whole team, you don't know what to expect. But the whole first day of placement is going through lots of admin-y kind of forms, making sure you know where everything is. So you get a tour, you go through, like I said about the forms, like an example of one form is, you know, going through the trust value and like covering the kind of clients you're going to see, what to expect, the kind of reading you have to do and things like that. So I think it's good to know that placement isn't as, you know, you're not expected to know everything when you get there. They kind of cover a lot on the first day. It's always quite a tiring day because you just go through everything, you meet lots of different people, which I think can be tiring, you know, you've got to make effort all day, which I know I guess that sounds kind of bad, but I think, yeah. So that's placement. I don't think the first day is as scary. You know, once the first day's over, you're knowing more what to expect, and you do lots of shadowing first to begin with. So you're not expected to go and know exactly what you're doing, the exact client, exactly everything. The whole point of placement is to learn. So no, it's not that as scary as you think it's going to be. Number three is kind of related to the pandemic, but also I think it really does apply to like the course now as well, even though, you know, we're pretty much back to normal, I would say, in the UK. We still wear masks on public transport and that's about it. I say UK, in England, I don't know if can't remember what the rules are everywhere. But the pandemic definitely taught me that I had to motivate and organise myself. I know that organisation kind of relates to the first point, but I do wish I knew that I was going to have to do a lot for myself to motivate myself. Like, it wasn't all gonna be handed to me on a plate. That's probably quite naive of me to think, but I feel like with my undergrad, I always knew what I was expecting more, but with the masters, you do just have to do more for yourself. You know, you have to do the extra reading when you've got courses and assignments, and you know, you want to. I obviously want to do well in my course, but I think with motivating yourself, it's just important to know that it is down to you completely. Especially I find with the masters, because I didn't really know anyone on my course as well. Like, I had to honestly just do it all for myself, and sometimes, like, I didn't really have many people to talk to about, you know, be like, oh my god, I don't really understand this, like, did you find anything, you know. Although you don't write things together, you know, it's helpful to talk with your friends about it. To be honest, now I'm thinking about it, it's not even motivation, it's discipline. You've got to be very disciplined with yourself to get everything done, and you do have to motivate yourself to do it. The more I say it, the more obvious it sounds, but I feel like if I heard this myself, maybe I would have been just more expecting of it. When you have expectations of something, what it's going to be like, you don't want to be let down. Whereas, you know, if you think, oh, I'm going to have to really be motivated, I'm going to have to be really organised, I might have to miss out on certain things, and then you don't, I think that's better. So I'm just giving you all my thoughts is what I'm giving you. So that's number 3. Number 4, more specific to assignments and exams and everything, and this is that the marking criteria is your best friend. Which some people might already know, and in my undergrad I remember them continuously saying it, but I don't know, I just didn't, the extra effort of going through the marking criteria was a lot of effort. Whereas this time, you know, I have the marking criteria next to me while I write an assignment, and then once I've written an assignment or done an exam or whatever, I go back through and check that I've got all of the points on there, because why would you not? It's very helpful. You know you're gonna at least pass if you've got all of them on there. Well, you hope. If you've got all of the marking points on there, and hopefully you'll do even better than that. So, yes, marking criteria, go through it, have it next to you. Make sure you do that for every assignment. This is the 5th one, is, to be fair, this might be a personal preference, but I found it to be very helpful when I need to look up things. So, writing notes. I write my notes on my laptop. How it worked last year and how it kind of works this year is that we're given an online lecture presentation to watch, which is usually about an hour. So from that, I would use the PowerPoint. I'd have my notes and I'd have a Word document and I'd watch the lecture, and then I'd copy and paste things from the PowerPoint, and then I'd add in my own notes from what they say in the lecture. The reason I really recommend this, and I think it's great, is because we've had quite a few exams online, and also just with assignments as well, is that you can like search your notes. So for example, with some of my exams, we were able, luckily, to use our notes. We had time cap and it was multiple choice, whatever, but I was able to use my notes, and I could search in the search bar for a certain type of dysarthria, or a certain therapy plan, or a certain assessment used for people with cerebral palsy, just random examples. And I found that very helpful to quickly find information. And also, same with assignments, which, you know, everyone can use their notes with assignments, is you can search for certain things. And, you know, for my lecture notes, I think it's excellent because, you know, you have that little reference, then you can search for that paper, you get more information from that paper, and then using my notes, I then construct your whole assignment based on just searching my Word document of notes. So I wish I knew that in the beginning, because for my first assignment, or its first exam, it's a multiple choice exam, and I'd written all my notes handwritten. And in an exam, you do panic anyway, and obviously it's good to have the knowledge and revise and everything, but being able to look at a Word document and find a specific word that you want, other than like looking through my handwritten notes, which take ages to write, and then it's really difficult to find and look through them again. So really recommend Word document to write notes, or just on your laptop. Really recommend doing that, so I wish I knew that. Yeah, another thing I wish I knew, number 6, is about the app Forest, or I think there are different apps, another one called Plants. The aim of the app is for you to not go on your phone. So this app, you plant a tree for however long, you can do from 10 minutes to 2 hours. And if you go on your phone while you are growing that tree, the tree dies. And obviously you don't want a tree to die. So when I'm writing assignments, or if I'm in a lecture and I'm trying not to go on my phone, you know, all those kind of things, I will plant a tree and then I will put my phone to the side, put it on silent, not silent, what's it called? Like the moon mode? Well, this is for iPhone, I don't know if other phones have this. But yeah, just do not disturb. So then texts and everything don't even come up, they don't buzz. My phone, my watch doesn't buzz, because that's also a distraction in itself. See, I've just looked at my phone and I'm distracted, so it just gets you off task. But yeah, it's great. And also, they do actually, this is I think it's a charity, but they plant real trees. When you've grown a certain amount of trees, they plant real trees, so it's a real incentive to not kill a tree. Not that they kill them, but you know, you're less likely to grow the trees. So really recommend Forest. Also, in relation to Forest, is the Pomodoro technique. I know quite a lot of people know about this. If you don't know what it is, it's basically when you work for 25 minutes on a task and then you have a 5-minute break. And I think for me it's important that 5-minute break is away from your laptop or where you're working, and also your phone too. But Forest, you can grow a tree for 25 minutes and then you can have 5 minutes on your phone if that's what you want to do in your break time. But it is great for that, and it does count down, and it's quite aesthetic. You can choose your tree. What's not to love? So that is another thing I wish I knew. Another one to do with placement, so this is number 7, is that I think it's very important to not get your hopes up about being in a certain placement setting. You don't know, well, on my course, you don't know what placement you're going to get given. You can write requests and places you really don't want to be in, for example, but don't be disheartened if you don't get a placement you want. I know that's easy to say, but I think it's another thing to do with expectations. Just if you're not expecting a particular placement, then you're less likely to be disappointed with a placement you get. So for example, I know there's people on my course this year that only want to work with a very specific niche group, which is fine, you know, great, good for you. I'm very happy that you know you want to do that. But you do have 2 years or 3 years if you're doing the BSc of placements, and you're not going to be able to work with that whole client group. For example, you just want to work with children with learning disabilities, you have to actually get a specific amount of hours worth of adult placements. So you do have to do that. So you don't really have much choice, let's say, because you need to reach the certain amount of hours to qualify. So although you might be able to have more time in a school, and you know, you can ask specifically, request for certain placements, you're not necessarily going to get them. And I think it's just better to know that before you go in and think, oh, all I'm going to be doing is working with this type of client group. And another thing on that note is that I think it's great to get a variety of experiences, whether you hate it or love it. At least you know you've learnt from that. And I know there's lots of skills that cross over. What you learn with adults and what you learn with children apply to adults, and you know, you have lots of transferable skills as a speech therapist. So working with adults transfers that over to children, and then children, knowledge you learn, back to adults. I just think that's very important to know. And although, like, personally I didn't really know what I wanted to work in, which I think was kind of to my advantage, I think other people would have benefited from knowing. Just don't get your hopes up with getting a particular client group on a placement, because as well, especially if there's like rarer things you want to work with, there's less placements available. And it does depend on where you live and your circumstances and everything like that. That's how they arrange placements, so it is important to know. Okay, final one, number 8, is okay not to know. You deserve to have a place on that course. You've earned your place on the course. So don't question it. And you had an interview, you had an application, you've got your past experience. So you deserve to be there. So many times, even though I know this, and I know it's so easy to say for me to be like, just, you know, it's fine, you deserve to be there. But it is sometimes really difficult when you don't understand something and all you think is, oh, everyone else understands, they know what they're doing, they're asking questions related to that, how do they know that? But I think everyone does that with different things. So I think it's okay not to know, and you will learn more. And sometimes, I don't know if anyone else gets this, but sometimes with revision, I've looked at something for so long and I can't work it out, and I'm just so frustrated. I'm like, I don't understand, and blah, I can't do it, blah, blah, blah. But sometimes going away, coming back is all you need, you know, just to work it out. Or go and speak to a friend about it. Hopefully you can help them with something and they can help you with something. Or email a lecturer, ask them to explain it in the next lecture. All of those things, you know, not everyone knows everything, and although you probably, or will likely at some point feel like everyone else knows more than you, because, well, personally I felt that, it is okay not to know. Like, it's fine. You just ask, you improve. It's the whole point. That's what life is. And so, you know, it's okay not to know. That's a very deep one for the last one, but I do think it was important. So they are my 8 things that I wish I knew before I started this Speech Therapy Masters. I do think they apply to other courses as well, but yeah, that's specific to me. So thank you very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed. Please do like and subscribe and comment if you've got any questions. I try and answer them when I can. And yeah, see you in the next video. Bye!